13 years after buying myself a Jetboil, I bought myself another Jetboil. And let's talk about why, because there's so many gas burners out there. There's so many options, light ones, heavy ones. Why did I get a Jetboil in the first place? And why did I end up getting another one? The reason for that is mainly it just works, and it works really well. Something that makes the Jetboil great is it does one thing perfectly, and it is boil water really quickly while being really gas efficient. So what do I mean by that? When I cook in the bivvy situation, when I'm out, I don't cook, like prepare meals like in pots and pans, all that kind of thing. The only thing I really want to do is create hot water really quickly, because I drink coffee, tea, I want to rehydrate my meals, etc. So I'm not really simmering, I'm not really doing any frying, any of that kind of stuff. I just need to boil water really quickly. And this is something a Jetboil does really, really well. Also, it does not waste a ton of gas doing it. So they're a little bit, clunkier and heavier. And these super lightweight, micro-sized burner heads. But the thing is, when people are telling me why they choose these little tiny things that weigh a couple of grams, they're mainly looking at stats. And what I'm looking at as somebody who uses something like this dozens of nights, multiple dozens of nights a year, is I want it to be efficient, because these tiny burner heads on paper, they work fine. But then when you take them out in the cold with a little bit of wind, etc., you just end up faffing around and just wasting tons and tons of gas. Well, if you take this Jetboil system or something similar, there's plenty of copies of the Jetboil system, which are maybe cheaper. But this here just contains the heat and really protects the flame from the wind. And it boils the water really quickly and really efficiently without wasting tons of gas. Because these things, this is my new one, they're not cheap. I paid 80 euros for this morning, so I bought it with my own money. Nobody gave it to me, nobody sent it to me. I had my own free choice of what I was going to buy. And I decided to pay 80 euros to buy this Jetboil, because I know it will just save me so much headache, and it will save me a lot of money in gas that I'm not wasting in the future. So you might notice that this is my 2008 version, so the 13-year-old one. This is the one I just bought this morning. It's smaller, and there's a couple of more differences why I decided to go for the Jetboil Zip. Is because this larger one here, it came with one of these piezo elements. So you can, push this button, and then it goes click, click. There's a little spark, and it ignites your gas. And this is the only thing that always frustrated me about the Jetboil in all these years, is this button just wouldn't work really well, which would be difficult to, do with the gloves. And then this piezo element would break multiple times. I need to replace it, blah, blah, blah. And I ended up not using it. So what I do end up using is one of these fire steels. So I stopped carrying around lighters and matches, because matches get damp, you run out of matches, your lighter fails. But something that never fails is a spark, and this is all you need to light gas. So even with gloves, really cold conditions, fingers are kind of stiff, you don't need to go looking around for matches. Even in the rain, this always works. Just open up the gas valve, boom, and your burner is going. So the one I chose does not have one of these piezo elements. It's just a very, very simple burner head, if that's the English word for it. Takes one of these pretty standard, threads, and all you need to do is just open it up, give a little spark, and it'll be burning. And this is nice and compact. This is about the volume of water that I would need individually to, prepare a beverage, prepare an amount of water to put in my trekking food, rehydrated food. So all I need is this, a small container. Something that's super handy is this little base plate, because this will fit common sizes of gas bottles, and this is actually quite useful to keep it stable when you're cooking outside. Something you'll see quite often is You know, people will try to perch their burners out on rocks or just these shabby camping tables or whatever, and then you have this very tiny base with a hot volume of water suspended above it, and then they'll just like, it's just an accident waiting to happen, just waiting to get burned. So I kind of like this little base plate, little burner, very, very efficient heat retention system. And then of course, you know, this sleeve here, which allows you to actually lift it up without burning yourself horribly. Little handle, and then something to put something in, I don't know what, but long story short, this is all I need. This is all I want. And this is what I'll be using for the coming years, because I used this one for 13 years. So a little gas canister like this, I think it's 100 grams. Let me just verify it real quick. Well, I don't know. You know what I mean. Here, 100 grams, 178 milliliters. This will last me for a week. So I'll go for 5 days easily on this. And then what I'll do is I'll be boiling water to put it in my Nalgene. I'll be preparing my food, my beverages, and this amount of gas is all I need. And this is because I just have a really efficient burner. And then it takes almost no space in my pack, and it's nice and compact and sturdy in my pack. Because when I take this little base plate, the burner itself, and then the little gas canister, just put the lid on, and that's it. Look how compact this thing is. It's just strong, it's sturdy, it won't break, it'll work. That's all I need. And this is why I choose Jetboil Zip as my second burner in well over a decade of using burners a lot. And then the only thing that's left here is like this little plasticky thing that you can put on the bottom, which can serve as a cup. But I would be willing to predict that this rather fragile plastic cup will probably end up dying quite soon or just get damaged. I'll see how long it lasts. But this here is all I want and all I need in a gas burner. So if you're on the fence about purchasing something, this is not cheap. It's not the cheapest, it's not the lightest, but it just works. It's strong, it's efficient, it's really good at boiling water really quickly and efficiently. And that's all I need this setup to do for me. Jetboil Zip, duly recommended.